Welcome, and thanks for joining me for Pathfinder Kingmaker. Well, it's time. We finally got our invitation to the Rushlight tournament, so that is where we're headed. We are all geared up and ready to go. We can head straight out. Okay, we've got our teleportation circle here in Direburg, so this is going to be so nice. We can just teleport right over here. Wow, we save a lot of time with that. We can head right down here to the Rushlight Fields. All right, we made it down here to Rushlight Fields. Oh, except I just realized we forgot to bring Lindsay. Dang it. Okay. We're going to have to go get her. I think it actually won't take us real long. We can just head back to our settlement here and teleport home, maybe. Shoot. Okay, wow, that teleportation ability makes a huge difference. We got Lindsay, and we're back here to Rushlight Fields. Talk to Italia Gitarin. Gastruccio Irovetti. King Irovetti greets you personally. The bulky Kelid is broad-shouldered and looks to be somewhere around 50 years of age. His golden crown sits on long, greasy hair above a heavily powdered face covered in bristle, and his expensive doublet is stained with oily spots. He guffaws as he squeezes you in a bear hug, enveloping you in the mixed sense of sweat, wine, and expensive perfume.
Well, my crown-bearing brother, welcome to my home. Stuff yourself, drink, be my guest. You've proven yourself in combat as well as affairs of state. Let's see how you do at having fun.
It kind of sounds like the same voice actor that does Armag. Armag just sounds more insane. Hey there, Iravetti. We've only just met. Are you already checking where you want to stick your dagger?
Great! I see you have a sharp tongue. So here's the plan. First, the Fish's Triathlon. Then a boasting contest. And in the evening, the best part, a drunken melee. In the interim, there'll be a buffet, a fair, jugglers, acrobats, all the usual entertainment. And after the melee, I'll announce the winner. And then we'll have a festive banquet and a fireworks show. Then we just drink till morning or find a tent to crawl into. Your own or someone else's, depending on your luck. By the way, a knockout such as yourself will always be welcome in my tent. Just joking. Just a joke.
Are you sure about that?
And one more thing. I'll have to seal your sheath. This is a peaceful celebration, after all, and bullies will be kicked out immediately. It doesn't matter if it's a king who decided to kick up a row or just a shopkeeper. So behave yourself and don't start any fights while you're here.
Look at that big axe you're carrying around.
Well, I have to go. If you need anything, talk to Nunzio Arpaia. He's my master of ceremonies, so he's responsible for organizing this mess. Have fun.
We will try. Participate in the first contest of the tournament. Right. In order to join the competition, we should talk to the master of ceremonies, Nunzio. All right. We brought Lindsay here. We need to make sure we talk to this lady. I think I botched this maybe in my last playthrough. I don't know if we didn't ever actually talk to her. I'm not sure. I think something went awry with Lindsay's quest. I think maybe what happened was maybe I didn't explore this area entirely before we began the tournament. So that's what we're going to do. Make sure we walk around and talk to everybody first. We got Carne Veriel over here. The gnome's yellow, bloodshot eyes scan the faces in the room nervously. Noticing you, he grabs for his sealed sheath. What? Who are you? Oh, it's your royal highness. Forgive me, I didn't recognize you. An honor, truly a huge honor. I'm Carne Veril, a simple salesman. Who are you? I told you already. The gnome's voice rises in anger. I'm a simple salesman, not rich, not noble. Why would a king concern himself with me? He wouldn't. Just chill there, guy. What is it you sell? What do you care? Fish and the like. Okay. Die, you dirty thief. Who might you recommend I meet here? No one. Everyone. How should I know? I'm just a simple salesman. Leave me be. All right. Yes, your highness. A great honor. Go have fun. Okay. Let's kind of head up the path here. Oh, here we got somebody. Drunk bully. Okay. A young man staggers toward you, his expensive doublet wet with wine. Is it a doublet or a doublet? I think it's a doublet. As he passes, he brushes shoulders with you and starts yelling, his breath rank with alcohol. Watch yourself. Who do you think you are, you pig? You tramped on my foot and ruined my doublet. Hick. I demand satisfaction. I bet we can intimidate this guy. Best not anger me. I've put away more people and monsters than you have bottles over the course of your waste of a life. Get out of here while you still can. Sorry. Think I confused you for someone else. Sorry, my mistake. These things happen. 40,000 XP for that? Wow. That's crazy. Quite the XP there for that skill check. Man. How are we looking as far as levels? Yeah, we're actually getting close to leveling up. We got a trader up here. Best wares on the river. Don't waste time asking where they're from. Get these deals while they last. Let's see what you got. Wow, some good stuff, but too rich for our blood. We could buy a couple of these things, but definitely can't afford this Ring of Circumstances. That is interesting. Activate up to 4 abilities from the list below. +2 to anything you want, basically. Okay. Well, I don't know if we can ever come back here and find that merchant. They have some... Oh, here we go. Aymar Deschamps. Amid the tournament's frivolity, you notice that 2 men nearby are having a heated but hushed discussion. One wears flashy clothing fit for an entertainer, whereas the other wears the steel armor and red cloak of Pitax's guard. It's difficult to hear what they're saying. Oof. Oh, I miss having a Maya here for the stealth. You can try to eavesdrop, I guess. Failed. The 2 huddle near one another as they speak, and due to the ambient laughter and music, you can only overhear part of the conversation. The guard sternly chides the entertainer. Up to Aymar, but I know that look. You're planning something. Aymar interjects, motioning to the festival. Talwyn, this celebration, it's just we had planned for, but can we really stand by? He begins to raise his hand and strike a pose as if preparing to make a bold declaration. The guard's hand intercepts Aymar's arm, firmly preventing the entertainer from making a scene. I've seen it with my own eyes, and it especially like you. Aymar says a few comforting words before removing Talwyn's hand from his arm. Pitax needs now is action, and I intend to act. The entertainer looks up, spots you, and smiles as Talwyn frowns and sadly walks away. It's a rare day that life emulates screenplays, Your Highness. Could it be that heroes have arrived in the people's time of need? Lindsay, oh, heroism, that's exactly what we do. See that symbol on his clothing? That marks him as a member of the Red Crescent Theater in Pitax, a fellow artist. She eagerly extracts her journal. Imagine the stories we could write together. What seems to be the problem? I first arrived here 5 years ago, answering King Iravetti's call for artists and actors to make Pitax a new crucible for the arts. Admittedly, the king dedicated plenty of money to building new theaters and schools. Art only thrives, though, when there are visitors and patrons to pay for it. Aymar sidles closer, lowering his voice. And that's where Iravetti has failed. The Pitax River is our lifeline, connecting us to the outside world. River pirates know it, and they prey upon incoming travelers. You might think the king would thwart these pirates and defend his people, but no, he's only sent escorts to protect key shipments, leaving everyone else to the pirates' depredations. This tournament? It hides how we suffer from the king's inaction. Now, when the king's soldiers cannot or will not vanquish the villains, what happens in the stories? He winks and gestures knowingly. That's right, heroes step in. Numerous victims have told me of the attacks, and I have pieced together the approximate location of the pirates' camp. If you can ambush and defeat them, traffic will flow, commerce will thrive, and you'll command the adoration of the boatmen, dock workers, artists, and more. Naturally, I'm prepared to write a play dramatizing your exploits. What do you say? I'm always ready to thwart river pirates. I accept. Imar grins eagerly. Then it's settled. I'll write down the directions real quick, and when you're done, you meet me in Pitax so I can hear your account. No doubt the magistrate will be pleased to stop getting piracy complaints, too. He draws a roll of parchment from a scroll tube. I hope you'll arrive in time to see my latest production. Speaking of which, I'm already late to oversee its rehearsal. Consider this a little preview. Good hunting. Pitax River Bend has been revealed, and we received an excerpt from his play. Alright, let's check that out. Interior of Castle's Hall at night. The fat Duke paces and frets, looking with concern toward a window. The crowd jeers outside. Fool sits upon the floor and watches Duke with concern. Fool opens his mouth to speak, consoling words, but then recoils when the Duke looks at the Fool irritably. Duke. Rage, hatred, wrath, and spite they shout below. What villain must I be to earn such ire? Fool. Your grace, protest this humble fool, I swear. The folk they praise your acts without levity. For is not your deeds that draw to eyes their tears. Nay, you they honor with bright confetti. Why ask, your grace, whose policies they loathe? One name, O Duke, that king. Duke. Aha, send word to my finest knight with blade like blazing, justice so burning with red righteousness. Fool. Your grace, if one so humble might protest. Duke. Speak, fool. Fool, that warrior man you deem your best has all the noble heart of drunken wolves who chase the shepherd's flock while licking lips, and claim they drool for want of the sheep's safety. Duke, fool, of what know you of laws, lands, and ships? Our king's word has this knight of his esteem, and yet now here you judge a soldier's worth. Duke raises a hand to strike the fool. Fool, no honor claims he when innocent heads roll, and your knight hears anguish yet laughs with mirth. Duke, no crime is humor. Fool, aye, no crime except when Sir Knight snorts mead at jokes of your grace's girth. Duke, forsooth, fetch me my blade and cuirass. Fool, and serve as squire to my thirsty vengeance. Duke angrily grabs his sword to fight the knight as the fool chases after him with a breastplate in hand. Tearful are the skies. Okay. We'll have to see if we can catch the rest of that production at some point. We've got a guest from Gralton over here. Pitax has always been famous for its wine, but this year's vintage is exceptional. And Pitax Warden. As usual, the masters celebrate while us grunts have to work. Here's the river. Let's head back down this riverbank. Oh, here's our goblin merchant. Twerk. Is it, or is this a different one? Must be a different guy. Adventurers, look at my offers. New wares. In a new bag. All new, all bestest. Only me be old. Can't be any bester. Show me your wares. Wait, what are you doing here? You know, no. Sellers be where fair be. No one be calling us. We come where the buying is. We be professional traders. All right, let's see what you got. All right, so he does have camping supplies should we need them. We are good to go, though, on that front at the moment. Found a book here, The Path of Splendid Glory by Ingevord the Golden Quill, professor of the Academy of Grand Arts of Pitax. All right, we're back here near the entrance. So let's kind of head over to the left here. Got guests from Mivon. Got another trader up here. It's like an orc. Swords, armor, best Mivani steel. Let's see what you got. Well, he's got some decent weapons here, but I don't think I want to spend 32 grand on a weapon at this point. I think we are doing reasonably well with what we've got. All right, let's keep heading up this direction. We need to find the lady that Lindsay wants to talk to. We've got guests from Daggermark here. Lock-picking contest. Oh, and we don't have our trickery expert. Is this another, like, potential huge XP opportunity that we're not going to be able to do? There's no way. We don't have anybody, because Amaya has our trickery, and we swapped her out for Lindsay. I mean, Lindsay's got a little bit here. I guess it's only 500 gold. We could try it. Test your finesse against the finest dwarven locksmithing. Crack the lock, get the prize. Who will challenge the best dwarven locks of the 5 Kings Mountains? Alright, we'll try. Splendid. Come, the table's right here. I wish you the best of luck. Simple lock. Get that one, Lindsay?
Anything else?
First lock is open. Congratulations. Can you open the second? Average lock. I guess you could, like...
It's just not my lucky day.
Nope. You could maybe save scum your way through this. But we're probably not going to be able to do that without our trickery expert, unfortunately. That looks like the same book we already picked up. Another trader here. All these traders have some pretty good stuff, but I haven't really wanted to spend the money on them. Just walk up the riverbank here. Okay, there's our exit. We got a group camping up here in the corner. Picked up a sky metal cog wheel. Okay, we got stopped by a warden. Hey, you can't be here. This is His Highness King Iravetti's camp. I'm aware he's the one who invited me. We're not supposed to allow anyone in. If the king commands it, we will, but at this point, you could be a thief, for all we know. Okay, I think I must be lost. I'll just be going.
There are many
Not sure we want to get into an encounter there. Alright, here's this lady. Atalia Gitarin. Greetings, your highness. I'm Atalia Gitarin, headmaster of the Academy of Grand Arts. Welcome to the tournament. Is this your first time here? I'll be honest, I'm delighted to hear what you've done with Tri-Kills. Not so long ago, it was little more than a hole in the ground, but you've brought it real civilization. Bravo. Lindsay has some interesting news for you. Yes, Professor Eobald found refuge in our capital, and you know what? He's writing his memoirs of his time at the Academy. I'm sure it'll be an entertaining read for everyone in Pidax. No, all of Avestan. A book, you say? How brave of him. I hope he doesn't neglect to include the details of his dismissal. Atalia's voice is ice cold and bone dry. What details? What do you mean? Iravetti kicked Professor Eobald out for just being too smart, didn't he? I'm sure that's exactly how he described it. They call him the insightful for a reason. After all, anyway, forgive me, but I've no interest in discussing this topic further. If you'd like to exchange idle gossip, I'm sure you can find much more willing and interesting company here. I suspect you know to whom I'm referring. Okay, we talked. Didn't get much out of her. Hopefully Lindsay will be satisfied with that. Got Animede Bellavara over here. What do you have to say? Oh, Cain, the famed Baron. No, excuse me, the king of Shrike Hills now has come to visit us. It is such a delight to see you here. Have we met her before? The name sounds familiar. Maestro Bellavara. Well, do you remember me? Lindsay blurts out, turning bright red. Must not have. Ah, Lindsay, of course I remember you. You and your nonsense at the poetics exam. I hear you have your own publishing house now. I didn't take you for the entrepreneurial sort, but I'm happy you finally found your calling. Oh, was she wanting to talk to this lady too, apparently? Lindsay had a question for you? Oh, I just hope it isn't about any of the lectures I used to give at the academy. Go ahead, ask away. Animede smiles encouragingly at Lindsay. Lindsay turns bright red, takes a deep breath, and blurts out, Sorry, but I really need to know the truth. Why did Iravetti kick Professor Eobald out of the academy? Oh, yes, he did move to your kingdom, didn't he? I'm curious how he portrayed his dismissal. I'd bet it was something like a poem in 6 verses, recounting the tale of a tyrant ousting a poor but honest scientist for telling the truth. The reality is much more mundane. Iravetti didn't fire Eobald. Italia did, and I have to give it to her. This time, unlike most times, she was completely right. That can't be. Why did Italia expel Eobald? Well, Eobald is a very fine teacher, of course, but he pays too much attention to how his favorite students perform in class, and not enough to their extracurricular activities. Why worry if they steal a trinket here or there, or maybe rough someone up on occasion, so long as their poetry and music are exemplary? Predictably, this led to a sad end. What was supposed to be just another innocent joke from one of his favorites, Alandi, led to someone's death. It was an accident, certainly. The kids just underestimated their own strength. Italia expelled the lot of them, and as always, Eobald went to stand up for them, but this time he discovered that her patience was not boundless. She blamed him, said that he'd let his troublemakers run wild, so he could get out of the academy along with them. She told him she won't tolerate any more bullying, even if it's coming from genius students. I understand it's odd to hear "won't tolerate" from Italia Guitarin, but that's what really happened. Pale, Lindsay looks at Anamine with huge eyes, unable to utter a word. If Iravetti didn't banish Eobald, then why did he send those cutthroats after him? He'd planned to return the old man to Pidax and make Italia reinstate him into the academy. Or, failing that, he at least wanted to keep him from going to you. Eobald the Insightful is a prominent name. Of course, Iravetti would want the teacher serving him rather than his neighbors. Why would Italia hide the circumstances around Eobald's dismissal? She doesn't like to discuss the Academy's internal affairs. Behind that neat facade, there are too many events she's looked the other way on over the years. All in good faith, of course. Thank you for telling us the truth. I'm not sure you should be thanking me. I see poor Lindsay's not too happy with this truth. Hey, come on, girl, cheer up. Being disappointed by people is practically a professional necessity for people like us. Whatever I may have said before, you're not a bad bard, and that means sometimes you have to face the music. Lindsay gulps and whispers, "Thank you." Tell me. Oh, she was the one singing at our capital. Okay. Are the songs you composed for Iravetti as bold as the ones you sang at my capital? Have my humble verses so offended you that you still recall their sting? Please, your highness, it doesn't behoove a person of your standing to take umbrage against a petty bard. Don't you know the old proverb, the tunes are chosen by the one who pays the piper? Tell me about yourself. You could have easily asked any of my admirers who Animated Bellavara is. That'd be about 3/4 of Pidax, and the rest are all my haters. Haha. You don't get to be the best among a city of poets and musicians without gathering a few enemies along the way. But why should I concern myself with hacks and sore heads? What can you tell me about King Iravetti? Animate's face darkens for a moment, but she quickly regains her sweet smile. Love him or hate him, you can't deny he's a great man. Pidax was a boring place before him. Only pirates, fences, and other scum did any business in the area. But then King Iravetti came and turned it into the cultural capital of the region. With him in charge, the arts have flourished, and the city's been filled with songs, paintings, and statues. I just pray that Callistria breathes the same love of the arts into the withered hearts of some of the other rulers in the region, who'd prefer to squander their resources on saber rattling. Some may say that King Iravetti doesn't have a taste for arts. Any successful person gets haters spreading dirty rumors about them. You should hear the things that they say about me, haha. Pay it no mind, our king is a man of exquisite taste, with appreciation for all kinds of art. Does the king have any enemies? Of course he has enemies, lots of them, just like anyone who's actually accomplished anything in life. Take some of the old trade houses, for example. Licenza and some others, whom he stripped of their power, they'd love to see him at the bottom of the river. But even now, in their mutual sorry states, they can't manage to work together. There's also Irse Calise, captain of the guard. He was just seething with indignation when the king brought new rules to the city. But who wants to listen to the whining of failures like him? Iravetti brought a golden age on Pidax. Tell me about the Rushlight tournament. Our beloved king has run this tournament once in several years since he took the throne. Guests from all over the river kingdoms come for it, from Daggermark to Mivon. It's a pity Prevail didn't honor us with any representatives this year. I guess the Aldori aren't in a very festive mood right now. On the bright side, we get to host you for the first time, and Callistria willing it won't be the last. Who might you recommend I meet here? That depends on what you're looking for. If you're in the mood for pleasant company, well, you've already met me. And if you're in the mood for some schadenfreude, you could listen to the whining of Gasper Licenza. His family lost the Pitaxian crown in a card game. Or maybe Italia Guitarin, the headmaster of the academy, who seems to think her skill at bureaucracy makes her a good bard. And if thrills are what you're after, especially the shivers down your spine kind, try speaking with Carne Veril, head of the Thieves Guild. We spoke with him, didn't we? He didn't really want to talk. Attack. You look like a spy to me. Prepare to die. We won't be doing that. Enjoy the celebration. Lindsay, I can't believe it. Teacher lied to me all this time. I'm going to learn the truth as soon as we get back to the capital. And we got 17,000 XP for that. Just leveled her up. I'll do that real quick. Okay. Well, I think we finished up the things we needed to do to satisfy Lindsay. Okay, she was wanting to speak with those two ladies. We've got the new quest to dispose of the river pirates. So we're just needing to actually participate in the tournament here. I'm not sure we're done talking to everybody, so let's keep walking around here. Okay, we've got Dre Yarnus over here. Oh, a new face at the celebration. I'm pleased to meet you. Dre Yarnus, High Priest of Callistria, at your disposal. Do many Pitaxians worship Callistria? Of course, she's been the patron goddess of Pitax since its founding. The goddess likes our joyful town, and its citizens love her in return. If ever you visit Pitax, you would surely enjoy the proud spikes of her cathedral. It's the most beautiful building in the city. Who might you recommend I meet here? There are many prominent people here, as usual. My first recommendation would be Maestro Enamide. Many would give their lives to exchange words with her. She's Pitax's best singer and the finest of its women. Callistria is the goddess of revenge. I'm sure many mention Iravetti in their prayers to her, and probably not with the kindest words. You are well versed in matters both spiritual and political. Of course, it's not my place to say what people pray to my lady for, but you're right that many would wish for revenge upon him. To be honest, our temple has only benefited from his rise to power. Iravetti isn't stingy with his donations, and the celebrations he holds are beyond all praise. The king himself, though, his exorbitant pride is irritating. Callistria dislikes those who would place themselves above the gods, and I wouldn't be surprised if she teaches him a lesson sooner or later. That I could deal with, though. There's something else that I find harder and harder to tolerate. You see, the goddess patronizes bodily love, but only that given voluntarily. It is sometimes difficult for me to protect our young priests and priestesses from his unsolicited attentions. I fear to imagine how hard it must be for our beautiful Anamede, or what Italia Guitarin must deal with. The king is said to often mistake the academy for his personal harem. I've heard you're not exactly happy with Iravetti's reign. The priest looks away. Oh no, I have no issue with his reign. He is a generous donor, and the celebrations he hosts are beyond praise. The king himself, though, right? Did we already ask him that? Okay, he already told us that. Farewell. May the grace of the goddess always be with you. Okay, I want to go back real quick and talk with Italia again, see if she had anything else to say or anything new related to what that priest just told us. Anamede Bellavara told us why you expelled Eobald from the academy. I have no interest in what that individual told you. Please, let's discuss something else. How fair is the academy? Oh, just splendid. If you ever find time to visit Pitax, I'll gladly give you a tour. We're currently holding an exhibition of our graduates' works. Though it's a pity that... No, it's fine. Believe me, we have plenty worth coming to see and hear. I get the impression that something's upsetting you. Oh no, please don't worry. I'm just disappointed that one of our best students, Trebrescent of Cordelon, couldn't be here today. He could be singing in any capital, but the king chose to send him to some backcountry village called Littletown. Of course, His Highness would never squander talent, so I'm sure we'll hear from Trebrescent again, but still, I do worry. I hear you're not exactly thrilled by Iravedi's power. Forgive me, Your Highness, but this is defamation. My students and I owe everything we have to King Iravedi. If not for him, the Academy of Grand Arts wouldn't even exist. It would be base ingratitude on my part to engage in any conspiracy against our patron. You must have me confused with Anamide Bellavara. She is certainly always ready to bite the hand that feeds, or caresses. Who might you recommend I meet here? There are many respectable attendees today. You already know King Iravedi, of course. You should be sure to speak with High Priest Dre Yarns as well. He's truly a wise and honorable man. Right, we met him. And if I may give you one piece of advice, beware of Carne Viril. He may be business partners with King Iravedi himself, but those who deal with him usually find themselves in a bad way. Since he showed up in the city, our dear captain of the guard, Irse Kalise, has so much more work than he... Italia stops short, covering her mouth. Forgive me, I've probably said too much. We might need to go back and talk to this Carne Viril again. What did you mean when you mentioned the circumstances surrounding Eobald the Insightful's dismissal? Forgive me, Your Highness, but I prefer not to discuss the subject. If you're truly so interested, I'm sure there are more than a few slanderers who would gladly share all the dirty details with you. Down with schools and teachers. Oh. It was a great honor and exquisite pleasure to meet you. Okay, I want to check Anamide again for anything new, and then we're going to go find that Viril again. I've heard King Iravedi can be too persistent in his flirtations. Anamide purses her lips for a moment, then replies slowly, choosing her words carefully. I'd prefer not to discuss the private life of His Highness with strangers, much less my own. The details of any interactions between us will remain just that, between us. Let's please discuss another topic. All right, fine. Okay, we're going to head... Let's see. All right, we'll head back down this way and then back to talk to this Carne Viril. There's Nunzio we need to speak to about beginning the tournament, but we'll hold off on that. Oh, here's this Gaspare Licenza. My regards, King Cain. Gaspare Licenza at your service. Tell me about yourself. I'm the head of the Licenza family and master of what remains of the Iron Fox trade house. Before Iravedi took the crown, it would have been my family receiving you at our house. Alas, we were simply guests at his celebration now. What caused you to lose influence? It's a dark and sordid story, and I swear I'd give my life to learn the full truth of it. Pitax was founded by 4 families and ruled by their 4 trade houses for centuries. We quarreled from time to time, of course, and property didn't always change hands peacefully, but none of us would dream of impinging on another family's lawful rights. And then Iravedi appeared. We underestimated him, thought him nothing more than another adventurer like the thousands of others in the region. He handled matters quickly and chaotically, with assets running through his fingers faster than chips at a card table. His wealth grew rapidly, but he still wasn't a big fish, for a while at least. He invited representatives from all the trade houses to play cards. No one really knows exactly what happened, but by morning he owned most of their assets, including the crown. They suspected a rigged game and sent representatives from the families to discuss the matter with him, and then a wave of disappearances rolled across the city. My brothers, the former kings of Pitax, disappeared, along with many other honorable people, and Iravedi made it clear that the lives of his hostages would depend upon our obedience. He was king, and our wealth and power lay in ruins. The citizens of Pitax seemed to love Iravedi. It would seem so, wouldn't it? Yet appearances can be deceiving. Yes, he's made many rich and happy, but there are many more lives that he's dragged through the mud for his own endless celebration. Trust me, there are many who would gladly put an end to his rule, but the king has so many spies that everyone's afraid to even discuss it. Ask the head of his precious academy, Italia Guitarin, what she thinks, or maybe High Priest Dre Yarns. You'll see their mouths shut tighter than an oyster's shell. Who might you recommend I meet here? I'd do better to tell you whom you should avoid. There's a gloomy, sickly-looking gnome wandering about, Carne Viril, chief of the so-called Thieves Guild. He is Iravetti's primary business partner, and they understand the word business quite broadly. You said the so-called Thieves Guild. What is it he really does? Certainly not picking pockets. The fellow came from Numeria shortly after Iravetti started his reign. I won't lie, the Pitaxian trade houses occasionally made some questionable deals, but before Iravetti, those like Viril were driven from the city faster than you can say first dose is free. The man's a drug pusher. He sells the blood rush extract. They say it enhances all senses extraordinarily and evokes vivid visions, but also affects minds and could be toxic in repeated doses. I saw those who overuse it. They could not put 3 words together. Because of Viril, half the city's youth is on his trash. And Iravetti's pleased as punch about it. The more time the citizens spend in altered states, the fewer questions they ask. The gnome also uses his own product. It affects both the body and the mind. He fears his own shadow. Alright, yeah, he seemed pretty paranoid. Seeing deception and trickery everywhere. Those who deal with him hope for fabulous profits, but they more often than not end up at the bottom of the river. Alright. It was an honor speaking with you, Your Highness. We're gonna head back towards Viril. What's going on over here? We got a bookie here. Oh, we got like a fighting pit for elementals or summons. Blue team, summoned water method. Talk to the bookmaker. Come, don't be shy. Witness secrets not meant for mortal eyes. An ethereal battle within a vortex of the supernatural. Bets here, place your bets. What's going on? Ooh, something special indeed. I'd wager you've never seen the like. Before your eyes unfolds an epic battle between the world's greatest spellcasters. Mysteriato, the devil tamer of Cheliax, versus Zinmergia, mistress of the Irisan witches. Who will win? Who would you bet on? What are the rules of your game? You think this is just a game? I wouldn't be so sure. The rules for you are simple enough. Though, choose one of the spellcasters and place your bet. If you guess the winner, you double your wager. If you're wrong, the gold is mine. Let's see. How do we know which is which here? Guess we'll bet on Mysteriato. Bets are set. No more bets. Let the battle commence. Looks like they both died. Or are they starting anew? This is Mysteriato. Alright, go water method. We got 2 water methods against each other. Kind of a slow fight. These things bleed? Guess so. Oh, shoot. Alright, battle's over. Okay, I guess we lost.
Without a doubt.
These guys want to talk? Mysteriato? Nope. There's an owlbear in there and a wyvern up here. These guys are just asking for problems. Alright, there's something going on up here. Is this the main tournament area? Oh, here's Irsay Kelise, captain of the guard, who was not very happy with Iravetti. An elf in leather armor scans the crowd intently. He seems to be the only one at this celebration not participating. He's also the only one besides the guards whose weapon isn't sealed. Your Highness, welcome to Pitax. Irsay Kelise, captain of the city guard, at your service. You don't seem to be enjoying the celebration. This celebration is for you. For the city guard, it's just another work day. And right now, our work is preventing disruption of the festivities. I thought Pitax was a city without laws. Where do the guards come from? Even pirates and smugglers have laws of a kind, and they need someone to keep their order. The city guard was created by the trading houses not long after the city was founded. We're paid by the citizens. Not all of them like us, but they all understand things are better with us than without us. Iravetti seems to have a tight grip on his power over the city. Oh yes, the trading houses hate him, of course, but, well, first and foremost, he has hostages. Second, each of the families is afraid to act alone, but they're all incapable of acting together. Gasperi Licenza tried to unite them, but to no avail. And it's probably for the best, frankly. The last thing we need is combat in the streets. Iravetti can be blamed for many things, but at least he took power quickly and without carnage. Now Iravetti's enemies have nothing to do but sit around like High Priest Dre Yarns, praying for Callistria to send her giant holy wasps down to take him away. Who might you recommend I meet here? That depends on the purpose of your visit. If you're here on business, well, you already know King Iravetti, of course, but it would be worth your time to speak with Gasperi Licenza, too. The trading houses may have lost much of their former power, but they're still capable of many things. And if you'd like to partake of our renowned culture, there's Enemy Bellavara, the most famous bard in the city, and Italia Guitarin as well, headmaster at the academy. Just take care, they can't stand one another. We have a diplomacy check. Ooh. We're probably not going to get this. I hear you're not pleased with the way Iravetti rules. The rumors that get around. You know, I recently heard tell of a ghost in the academy. Turned out it was just a withered parquet floor that was squeaking. Well, shoot. Interesting. So we can just ask that again. There's no check on it here. I hear you're not pleased with the way Iravetti rules. Same thing. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if that was another like 40,000 XP we miss out on by not having that skill check. The quest, Electri, utility item. The owner of this book reads one new chapter every time on rest, granting a benefit until the next rest, depending on which companion the chapter described. Chapter selected randomly. The chapter about Shellburn grants an ability to use Fireball 3 times this day. The chapter about Lord Jessiador grants a +5 competence bonus to persuasion and use magic device checks. The chapter about Skirple allows the owner to deal 1 additional damage on each sneak attack damage die. The chapter about Wolfgang Hypton grants +10 competence bonus to stealth checks. The chapter about Ristov Brolston grants an ability to make the target rage as a barbarian for 6 rounds 3 times this day. The chapter about Kenneth Cowanan grants an ability to use lightning bolt 3 times. Wow, okay. So we just need to equip that on somebody. I wonder what slot that goes in. Oh, we'll just put that on him, I guess. See how that works. All right, we've got Stefano Moscani over here. Let's go see who this is. Since your last encounter... Oh, have we met? An arrogant nobleman from Pidax who attended your reception. Okay. He's put on a little weight, and his appearance has become even more festive. As you approach, a polite smile blooms on his face. Why, if it isn't King Cain? Please allow me to congratulate you on your success. You were less polite the last time we spoke. I concede my mistake. I suppose I'd met a king for a day whose state would last a few months at best. I never imagined you would match my king in dignity, let alone that your country would become a worthy rival for Pidax. This isn't the first year the tournament's been held. Why was I just invited this year? I mean no offense when I say this, but both you and your state were frankly inconsequential. Not significant enough for our attention, but your victory at Brevoy's border and your subsequent coronation changed all that. In truth, King Iravetti only invites those he's identified as worthy rivals to the tournament. So, Iravetti considers me a rival. I didn't think I'd given him any cause for a feud. The unfortunate reality is that your very existence, along with the strength of your kingdom has acquired, is cause enough. What would happen were you to join with Mivon against Pidax? Or perhaps you might seek to extend your lands west and not stop at the border. What if merchants from Brevoy began traveling through your lands, bypassing Pidax entirely? And of course, the most important question. Mosconi's grin turns predatory. Do you sit securely on your throne, or does Pidax stand a chance of expanding east? At least you're honest with me. I appreciate the warning. Think nothing of it. I have great interest in seeing how events will unfold. Your face disgusts me. Die. Until we meet again, and I'm sure we will. Okay. We've spoken with these guys. I think we've hit everybody up there. So I want to head back, see if we missed, if there's anything we can clear out here, and head back down here toward Carne, and then we'll come back up here to Nunzio. Oh, we've got somebody new down here. Walsh Kelvaway. Several concerned dock workers crowd around a finely dressed half-elf who listens to the workers with imperious dignity. It's as we've been telling you, Judge. This is the third shipment in 2 months they've stolen from us. Can't keep that up. Doesn't matter how good the last year's business been. No cargo means no pay, and no pay means no new shipments. We asked you about the thefts before, and there's nothing changed. Where's the king's justice, Your Honor? The half-elf patiently motions for silence. It is true that pirates have taken route along the Pidax River and attacked several shipments heading upriver. The king has... He pauses, noticing you for the first time. He adjusts his posture to stand taller and straightens his sash of office before continuing. King Iravetti shall address the problem soon. However, he will hear no formal complaints until after the Rushlight tournament. In the meantime, he advises that travelers downriver take care around Littletown. Until then, partake in the festivities and the king's generosity. If anyone has further questions or concerns, I am at your disposal. The gathered workers grumble and disperse, barely mollified by this response. A bright sash cuts across this man's chest, identifying him as a magistrate of Pidax. He makes a shallow bow while keeping his head inclined upward, as if being polite while also conveying his superiority. May the king's law guide you at the Rushlight tournament today. I am clearly addressing someone important, but I don't believe we've met. I need to click on that, don't I? The half-elf motions to his sash. I am the Honorable Walsh Kelvaway, a magistrate of Pidax, judge of the people's concerns and executor of the king's justice. I overheard you talking about stolen shipments. Is there a problem? Ah, yes, that. He sets his teeth into a practiced smile, though his teeth briefly grind together. An outbreak of river piracy has caused some consternation among the citizens. Simply avoid or exercise caution near Littletown in the meantime. Perhaps Pidax would benefit from somebody who has a history of vanquishing bandits. Let us be clear, declares the magistrate, narrowing his eyes with disdain. Pidax's armed forces are entirely capable of handling these criminals. There's no need for would-be heroes or aspiring vigilantes to get involved, much less foreign interests. I recommend enjoying the rest of the festival. Lindsay, how can he be so deaf to the people's woes? And he calls himself a judge? A fine day to you. Right. We got that center area cleared out. I wanted to head back down here to wherever this Prevail guy was. Here he is. Carne Prevail. Well, we've heard a lot about you, buddy. You again? I mean, what can I do for you, Your Highness? I've heard a few curious words. Blood rush extract, and that you're no ordinary salesman, and your wares are far from mundane. Quiet, quiet, I say. Gripping his sheath tightly, the gnome looks around anxiously before whispering. Too many people here, too many eyes, ears. You want to talk business, find me out in Pidax. I'll remember you. All right, very well. Okay. I guess we haven't gone further up. Oh, that's where Iravetti's camp was. They didn't want us going in there. I don't think we'll push our luck there. So we'll head over here to Nunzio. See if we can get this thing started. I am a little bit worried now about the potential skill checks that are going to be involved with this, and we're without our trickery and stealth person. Lindsay's got a little bit of trickery, but probably not going to be enough. I don't remember what these involve. We'll see. Nunzio. Your Royal Highness, welcome to the Rushlight tournament. My name is Nunzio Arpaia, and I have the honor of being His Highness King Iravetti's Master of Ceremonies. You could say the organization of this tournament rests on my shoulders. If you need anything, I'm at your disposal. Tell me about the Rushlight tournament. Since starting his reign over Pitax, His Highness King Iravetti has held this tournament once in several years, inviting guests from the high society of nearby kingdoms to attend. Today, we have guests from Daggermark, Mivon, Gralton, and Tamon. Unfortunately, Prevail did not honor us with their representatives this year. It's entirely possible that recent events and the stressful political climate have put them in a less than festive mood. But we're pleased to have Your Highness in attendance for the first, and I hope not the last, time this year. What events are on the schedule? The tournament consists of 3 contests. First, the participants will display their strength and dexterity in the Fisher's Triathlon, a tribute to local crafts and trades, so to speak. Then we'll be measuring competitors' wits in the boasting contest. There's a reason we're the cultural capital of the region, after all. And finally, the evening will wrap up with some mock combat in the drunken melee. Then His Majesty will announce the winner of the tournament, and we'll all enjoy a festive banquet, followed by a splendid fireworks show. And what about flighting? I'm good at that, Lindsay. All right. Yeah. Well, I think it might have been a mistake not to bring along Amaya to this. If we have any trickery or stealth checks, we're going to be in trouble. Let's get it going. Fisher's Triathlon. Let's begin. Trumpets sounded over the arena, announcing the commencement of the Fisher's Triathlon. We were to distinguish ourselves in 3 sports, if you could call them such. You be the judge, dear reader. The first round was fish carrying, if you can believe it. They built narrow bridges over pits of mud and placed barrels on either end, one side filled with fish and the other side empty. The goal was to get all the fish from one side to the other, barehanded, without falling into the mud. I'm sure this is just what you imagined for a royal tournament. Throwing fish at your opponents was prohibited, but there was one unofficial but well-understood rule in this tournament. Don't get caught. We had to decide which of us would participate, as well as how fair we wanted to play. Wow. Neither of these is very good. We're going to have to go with the athletics check, I guess. Jeez. Yeah, that bites. We really botched that by not bringing Amaya. It might almost be worth leaving and coming back. I guess we'll see what happens. Failed. Cain quickly realized it would be hard to earn an honest win while everyone else was cheating. He hadn't even managed to move half of the fish before someone slyly tossed a fish beneath his feet. Cain slipped and fell into the mud. We lost the round, but the competition wasn't over. The second round was untying knots. Competitors would be tied up on poles resembling ship masts, and they had to escape the ropes. We once again had to make a choice. Yeah, and of course, trickery and stealth, the 2 things we basically have none of. Guess we already passed this. We noticed a sharpened coin glistening in the Daggermark competitor's mouth, and the Gralton participant had a blade in hand. We exposed the cheaters, leaving us with fewer rivals. Okay. What? We can't... Alright, it wasn't going to let me select her. The judges escorted the cheaters out of the arena, the crowd laughing and whistling all the time. With a third of the competition gone, Lindsay easily outpaced the others, untangling the ropes and making her way to the judges, while the others still wriggled in their bonds like flies in a spider web. So we won one round at least. The third would be crucial. The last round of the tournament was diving for river pearls. Huge tubs were filled with mussels in river water, and some empty jars had been placed on sets of scales. We'd have to open the mussels with our bare hands, gather the pearls, and deposit them in our team's jar. Of course, if playing fair wasn't a priority, we could try weighing down the jar with other things as well. Jeez. Gotta go with athletics again. It's gonna be our best option. Decided to compete honestly. Failed. Cain bravely dove into the muddy water and started opening shells, breaking his nails in the process. He put fistfuls of pearls into his jar as fast as he could, but once time was up, his jar wasn't the heaviest. We lost the third round. We were wet, muddy, and smelled of fish, and all for nothing. The triathlon's victor was Pidax's team. What a disappointment. Dang it. Maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know if it matters how we do in this. Maybe we get some better XP out of it. It really bites though, because Amaya probably could have gotten all those trickery checks, because she's got a pretty good stat there. I guess we won't worry about it though. We'll just move on. All right, Your Royal Highness. Now we already went through this. We're ready for the boasting contest. Everyone's ready. Let's begin. Now this one, I don't know. We might be okay with the intimidation. The tournament continued with the boasting contest. The first participant, a man from Daggermark, stepped up to the podium and told a raunchy story about him sneaking into a temple of Callistria and seducing all the priestesses, including the High Priestess, in a single night. The crowd was particularly amused by the suggestive glances he kept casting toward one of the guests from Timon. She simply smiled mysteriously in response. The second participant was a guest from Gralton, who told a completely implausible tale about his travels across other planes, where he battled undead hordes and defeated a blood-curdling monster. He was an average storyteller at best. He'd be lucky to get a C for that story at the Academy. But the listeners were inexplicably elated. Suspicious, we took a closer look at the crowd, and of course, we spotted a bard using some tricks of the trade, and likely a little magic, to aid the Gralton man's performance. Alright, we could try to stab him. I doubt that's going to work out. Point out the cheating. That's not going to work out. We could intimidate. Quietly warned the bard that we would shut him up if he kept interfering. Nice. The bard got the message and quickly disappeared. Without the bard's support, the guest from Gralton immediately lost the audience's approval. As he grew more nervous, he began mumbling and stumbling over his words, and he eventually left the podium among jeers and whistles. Alright, 23,000 XP for that. Then it was Pidax's turn. The kingdom's honor was represented by Anamid Bellavara, a sweet-voiced singer whose smile could win over the most withered of hearts. Oh, Anamid. But while her voice was smoother than silk, her words stung like arrows. With a soft smile, Anamid told everyone how she'd spent months in our kingdom learning our secrets and instigating a riot. Of course, the honest trade of the bard and the shady dealings of the spy often go hand in hand, but, oh Anamid, who could have expected such an ugly blow from such a lovely lady? She described, in surprising and exceptionally critical detail, how much the citizens of our young state suffered under the atrocities of the troll assaults and the magic plague. She never stooped to actual lies, but she made it sound as though our king, Baron at the time, was simply drinking and debauching while his subjects struggled. She made our crusade against Vorticai look like a cunning conquest of Varnhold, and the war with the Tiger Lords was characterized as an irresponsible venture. Talk about cruel and unfair. When Anamid finished and left the stage, it was our turn to perform. And what feats did our participant decide to tell in their performance? Right, we're gonna have to go with the intimidation again. In response to Animede's story, he recounted how we dealt with Tartuccio, another one of Iravetti's spies. Looking meaningfully at Animede, Cain spoke of the sad fate that befell the last of Iravetti's spies, and what may be in store for any other spies we might come across. The audience hung on his every word, sometimes laughing uncontrollably, sometimes holding their breath to avoid missing anything. Cain finally brought the story to an end, and the viewers gave him a standing ovation as he left the podium. The woman from Timon, a priestess of Callistria, went last. She told stories of her love affairs in faraway countries and on other planes, casually mentioning an unpleasant disease she'd contracted over her journeys that took her a long time to get rid of. Hearing that, the participant from Daggermark paled and grabbed at his belt, bringing roaring laughter from the rest of the audience. And finally, the judges announced the winner, Cain. He walked up to the podium to thunderous applause and took another bow. Good job, Cain. All right, so we're 1 for 1. 1 and 1. One more event to go. All right, where's Nunzio at? Is he back over here still? All right, we got to walk back across the map, I guess.
I will guide.
Okay, we're ready for round 3, Drunken Melee. Let's begin. It will be splendid. All right, Cain ought to be able to handle this. We got brawlers from Timon, Mivon, Pidax, Gralton, and Daggermark. Nice. Who do we want to take down first? Let's get this Daggermark
So
elf.
it comes to this.
Nice. He got the sneak attack. Are we supposed to kill him? I guess it's okay. I don't know if that was called for. These guys are shaking now. Wow. Cain is a monster. Even without his sword. With that dreadful carnage going. Alright, we might actually have trouble hitting this dude from Pidax. I guess we could just go up to this Timon and Brawler.
I'll just have to resort to brute force.
Nice. Wow. Boy. Yeah. He's not taking any prisoners. One left. Here we go.
No fear.
He's using the kicks. Oh, he didn't get him? Okay, come on. Take him down. Let's go.
Made your choice.
Nice. Learn the results of the tournament. Okay, we took 2 out of 3 events. King Iravetti is about to give a speech before all the guests. Let's hear what he has to say. So, to do that, where do we need to go? We just talk to Nunzio again? Okay, I'd like to know who won. Tournament's finished. Yes, His Highness is just about to make a speech announcing the winner. Look, everyone's gathering around now. Okay. 12 hours passed.
Lords and ladies, another Rushlight tournament has come to an end. I'd like to thank all of you who honored this event with your presence. My friends, I'm happy to see all of you, but I'd like to give a special welcome to one guest who found themselves invited here for the first time. Today, we had the Baron. No, excuse me, it's King now, isn't it?
It is.
Of the
Better remember
majority
that.
Of what was once the Stolen Lands. Thank you for coming, my darling.
Darling.
I can call you that, right? I thank you with all my heart. I first learned of him from my friend Stefano Mosconi. To be honest, his report was less than flattering. Impassable swamps, monsters galloping about, and a complete absence of any valuable resources. Nothing more than a dirty hole ruled by another bandit lord, hardly worthy of your attention. That's what he wrote back then. I'm so happy he was wrong.
Haha.
Truth be told, even now traveling that domain is a less than pleasurable experience. Some roads have appeared, but their safety leaves much to be desired. Take the sad story of a poor Toman Henvaki from Gralton. He set off to those lands and hasn't been seen since. His brother Edrist went to find the poor fellow, and what happened?
Yeah, Cain didn't handle that situation very well.
He returned empty-handed. Toman seems to have vanished into thin air, like hundreds of travelers before him. At least Edrist was lucky, I suppose. He managed to come back alive. That's certainly considered fortunate for those who decide to swing through those lands. His Highness ordered him hanged as a spy. Now that's what I call taking care of national security. Take a lesson there. And the hunt the Baron put on, clearly imitating my tournament, it was beyond description. While guests were out hunting hydras and owl bears, the latter came from behind and ate at the banquet table, along with all the servants. Some celebration, right?
You're borderline disturbing attention to my persona. I think we just have to go with the intimidation. We're probably not going to hit any of these. Iravetti, my friend, it's uncomfortable how much attention you lavish upon me. How about your kingdom? How many bodies are found in Pitax's harbors each year? Oh, nice.
Yes. Well, I believe we've fallen a bit off topic.
92,000 XP? Wow.
All I really wanted to get at was that His Highness is a personage truly as extraordinary as his lands, and I'm happy to see him at this celebration. And now it's time to announce the winner of the tournament.
You bet.
This year, no one managed to win all 3 contests.
Wait.
Since the victories all belong to our neighbors here and Pitax, as the chief judge, I'll be rewarding the prize to Pitax for their grace and skill.
You gotta be kidding me. So I wonder if is he gonna award it to himself no matter what? Oh, wow. This is absurd. We won 2 of the 3 contests. That prize is ours by right.
Just a joke, a joke. Please restrain yourself. No need to be mad. Of course the prize is yours. Here you are. Take it. Just don't cause a scene, please.
Lesser Ring of Ultimate Protection.
And now, with the competition over and the prize awarded, let's get on with the main part of the celebration. The banquet. I can hear your stomachs growling from here. Let's get to the table, and later we'll see an unforgettable fireworks show.
All right, I thought you were gonna steal that victory from us there for a moment. Wait for news to come. All right, we finished the tournament. The tournament is over. King Iravetti wasn't very friendly, but overall everything was settled peacefully. Perhaps this invitation wasn't a dirty trick after all. No, I can't believe that. There must be some kind of catch, or it wouldn't be Iravetti. I think we'll be hearing some news from Pitax in the near future. All right, and Cain leveled up. Nice. All right, that was the Rushlight tournament. We did pretty well, I think. If we would have had our trickery expert, we could have taken all 3 events, but we got 2 out of 3, so can't be too upset about that. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again back here with me in the Stolen Lands. Bye-bye.